Oh, here we are live, Fru.
Is it okay if I dance?
Absolutely. Hey, what happened to
What happened to Restream? Oh no.
So it's not streaming?
Welcome to the Dr.
Hang on a
PhilGood.
second, it just may not be streaming.
Oh, I'm gonna wait.
How would that do that all of a sudden? It just locked me right out?
There is a phone on my outline that I'm gonna set aside now for its silence.
All right. I have no idea.
Well, just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome everybody to the Dr. PhilGood. Our weekly broadcast on trauma recovery, cellular health, and real-life healing from the inside out.
Hello, everyone. So sorry, we're going to redo all this, so just don't read. Have a conversation, and we'll start when I get all this done, Fru, because this matters.
It's done.
No, this really matters.
It really is done.
Sorry, folks, restreaming, and it is streaming. That is
Woo-hoo!
Excellent. Awesome. We have 0 viewers at this point, but
I
we've been
love
on
my
for 1 minute
hair
and
today.
20 seconds.
It is just so special.
I'm so happy you like your hair, Fru. That is so kind of you. To be good to yourself like that makes a lot of difference.
Right.
Hey, I want to make sure how to pull up the chat over here, though. Let's see. Where's the chat at? There it is. Okay. Now you can see yourself, and now we have chat, and here we are, folks.
Welcome to the Dr. PhilGood show.
Our weekly broadcast on trauma recovery, cellular health, and real-life healing from the inside out.
This series is proudly sponsored by the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation, whose mission is to prevent CTE through education and early intervention.
A mission that's critical for families like ours, navigating brain injury, behavioral changes, and long-term caregiving.
So please visit stopcte.org.
That's stopcte.org and find out how you can help stop CTE in your community.
Hi everyone, welcome back.
Hey everyone, welcome.
I
Welcome
am
back to our
Fru.
little studio. I'm David.
This is
I'm
David Carson.
David Carson.
And we're trauma survivors and
That's friends.
caregivers.
She cares for me, I care for her, and if it wasn't for her caring for me, folks, she was my community 7 years ago, my single only community I had, and it worked. So we've been documenting everything ever since, and what a book we've got to write, Fru. What a book.
I am a holistic health advocate, and here today, and usually, at 11:11 CT AM, CT Central Time.
Oh, you always
we
get
speak
me on that one.
the truth about what it takes to heal from the inside out.
Today's episode was inspired by the overwhelming response we received to a recent post about how brain injuries impact the whole household, not just the injured person. Your comments, direct messages, and shares made it clear we needed to go deeper on this subject.
That's exactly right. That post.
I'm excited about this
got so many
subject
comments.
because this is the one thing that I was sitting alone doing 6-7 years ago. Man, I'd sit in the computer. I couldn't talk to anybody. I mean, I was a nut. You couldn't figure out what I was trying to say. And so I would sit down and just write, and I would have pages of like no gaps, no periods, no paragraphs. I just, lining it out what I wanted to tell everybody. And I just had a lot to say. I couldn't get it all out. If you're in that condition right now, it's very difficult for you to communicate with others and for them to understand you. There might be a ton of things that have been said and done now that have resentment. Loved ones hold.
Which is why we're talking about this
Absolutely.
today, because TBI is not just an event, even though a lot of the caregivers or a lot of the people who are not survivors don't necessarily understand that this is an ongoing process that involves a lot of storms that we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely. Let's dig right on in it, Fru. Let's dig right on into it.
So when one person's brain function shifts, the entire family's dynamic changes. And so David and my story starts in a space where I knew very little about neurodegenerative diseases such as CTE, such as Alzheimer's, or Parkinson's. I knew the least about CTE when I met him, and yet he told me that he had
I'd like to see you
suspected
right
CTE. So I just didn't really know how it's gonna exactly affect our dynamics, or the dynamics.
Oh, we
of
had
our
some great dynamics
relationship.
too. Her and I are meeting together. When we got to know each other, getting to know each other was phenomenal. We're still getting to know each other today. But looking back on it now, we had this, of course, I've got cameras on us and I'm filming everything, we were from the get-go. I had her on camera. She's very easy to take pictures of and video. And her response to my brain injured mess was laughing. She laughed a lot. And so I found an outlet. I didn't have the ability to communicate properly. She didn't know what I was talking about, but I could say it and do it in a way that made her laugh. It helped me heal. I hadn't made anyone laugh, and I only scared folks at this point. And so it was really good to have her around me, because it made me feel good to know that I had somebody that was laughing at me. And so encouraged me to do more funny things. And now I'm the funniest man on the planet. I
There's
have
no
too.
question about it.
Anyway, I've gotten better, so I'm not as funny as I used to be, but I was really funny back in those days.
So one of the things that people very often do not connect with brain injuries or neurodegenerative diseases is the hormonal shifts, the chaos, the hormonal
Yes.
chaos, the mood swings, and the nervous system dysregulation that start creating these new patterns, behavioral patterns, and then household patterns, basically. Do you want to say anything about that?
No, I got lost in what you were saying. I'm watching you look down at the table, and it's like I want to see you talking to me, and then I lost what you were saying because I was
Okay.
staring
Well,
at
I'm
you.
talking to others today. So
Well, then go ahead, keep talking. I'll
and
jump in
talk
when
a
I catch
lot
on. I
throughout
know,
the day,
but I'd like for
and
them to see you look at
I
them.
want to make sure that this message gets across exactly how it's
I'm
supposed
making
to
sure.
be.
Look, I'm making
And
sure.
So this list of notes that we actually have here all come from this article that was very, very long, and I'm gonna tell you that it's got like 7 or 8 points, I believe. Six. It's got 6 points. So and I didn't even really get into the second one.
Well, we're going to keep coming back until this show's finished. That's what this one's all about. This is what we put this thing together for in the first place, is to be able to help folks like us. We were in the dark on this, and Fru didn't know how to deal with. Let's go between figuring out what a symptom is and what a character flaw is, and how big of an important step that is in the
Without knowing this information that we're discussing here today, that's basically impossible. And that's why I also like to say that the information that we share here, for me personally, took years of research.
7 years she's been with me, and she's a research nerd. And so I always told the doctors when I went in to see a doctor, I'm not here you're not going to fix me, but you should write a book about me, because there's so much going on, and no doctor really gets into it and sticks long enough. I wouldn't stay with them. They just want to give you medicine and shove you out the door and call you bipolar.
One of the things that doctors are not likely going to tell you is how the endocrine system relies on a healthy brain
Almost
to
every one of
regulate
them
balance.
will tell you this.
So people don't understand that hormonal shifts happen because the brain is like the conductor of this whole symphony that's playing inside. And when the brain doesn't work, a lot of the
and
other
the conductor's
functions
drunk
suffer. Yeah, or
blacked
out. Is just having a moment,
has his multiple
meltdown.
personalities.
So after a TBI, the pituitary, the hypothalamus, and limbic systems get disrupted, and these cause issues such as low testosterone or estrogen, thyroid confusion, adrenal fatigue, sleep, appetite, temperature, and emotional volatility. Volatility. I don't know how you.
I can't
pronounce
see it.
that
Where is
word.
it? I'll try to
Volatility.
say it. Volatility? I have no idea.
Oh, neither one of us know.
Volatility.
No.
No. Volatile.
Volatility.
There you go. I can see it.
Volatility.
It's right there. Volatility.
Okay. There you go. So what that means is the short fuse, the emotional extreme swings, like
mood shifts.
Like you guys drinking alcohol with CTE is like one of the worst thing that anybody can do to themselves. And
absolutely.
I'm saying this also because I know I talk to caregivers and some of you really want to help everybody or your loved one, but you have to understand that there are so many things that people do that make these symptoms worse.
Yes.
And
like not drinking water.
Exactly.
That's just one of the things. We're going to discuss all these things, but these are big common stuff that, you could save your marriage. You don't have to have a brain injury to like need to quit drinking alcohol. But if you have a brain injury, you've had a concussion, alcohol is the worst thing for you. It's one of the hardest things, the last thing I let go of.
So on that example, on that topic, let me actually use an example that I've never seen before. You guys, I've worked in the alcohol industry, so I've seen people.
She worked in the alcohol industry for how many years?
6, 7, 8, something like that. So throughout that time, I've seen people getting drunk a lot, and then I also had my fair share from my 20s.
Of getting drunk?
From my 20s when I thought, I didn't know how.
That's how she got me sober. She went out and got me drunk.
That was, but anyway, it was really interesting that I've never seen that in my whole entire life before I met David. Is that when a person drinks alcohol and then within the next 45 minutes, they go through every single bit of emotion that exists in their repertoire.
Yeah.
It's from
got the whole symphony
angry
going?
to happy to content to frustrated to sad to paranoid to, you just name it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in the beginning.
And all of that happens in such a short period of time that you, this is, I used to work
I could have a
store.
shot. I could just drink a shot within 5 minutes, something like that would switch real quick.
I used to work at a place where people would come into the store, to get their booze in the morning, and I've never seen that kind of reaction from anybody.
Well, you've never seen a brain like mine.
Well, that's what I learned. But I'm also saying this because when you bring in certain things such as alcohol, these cases that we're talking about can get extreme, like extreme.
Folks, I was an extreme case 7 years ago. It's hard to imagine that if you haven't seen the story or see what was going on with me, but there's a whole list of things that we did and things that we do not do that helped me get better.
So one of the things that the article talked about that was really interesting was the patterns that caregivers learn, because I also see that one TBI is very different to another. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, like for example, the overdrive and then a shutdown and then a rage and then a withdrawal and then fatigue,
How does mine go?
That actually doesn't really apply to you in this way, because for you, before the rage, there was this depressed episode. And then the frustration started to kind of like bubble up in that, which would be like the fatigue mixed with the rage. Yeah. And then after the rage, there would be the overdrive, like this. That's when the rage would happen. So basically we don't really have those anymore. So it's kind of nice that I can talk about it in past tense.
Ain't that nice?
But how it used to be is you would be completely fine, and then you would have those days when you're like completely down and then no energy, fatigued, and then look very depressed. And then after that, it would seem like you're a little bit better, and then you would get a little burst of energy, and then that would turn into rage at some point. And then that
I just should have got me a band and started screaming on stage during that time. Could have saved you some
Oh, I'm sure it saved a lot of people when it was happening. There's no doubt about it. But anyway,
That's why I was a screaming
so
machine back in the day.
these are autonomic survival responses, not personality traits. So
Get that clear, caregivers.
So what that
caregivers.
means is that you see a neurological pattern, and you cannot mistake that with a personality trait or a personal issue, as people
No, you can,
like
and most people do. This is where people get left. Divorces happen. Relationships are lost. And what happens during this time of year is the stress, the overwhelm is increased, and a lot of folks have self-harm bombarding their mind at this time of year, and this is something that would help a lot. I'm talking to you caregivers because my wife has now made it 7 years. I'm still here.
One of the things that I would say to all of those who have a loved one with CTE is that definitely not only just start to pay attention to these patterns, but start to make notes.
Make notes of them, because it helps.
It really
helps
is
your
helpful.
emotions.
It helps
Helps
us.
your
And if I'm
emotions.
telling you that we don't have them anymore, then that should be a clue for you, that you wanna do what we've done. But in reality, this wasn't like so intuitive for me to do. But after a while, when I started to find tools that were obviously helping him, or we had big hopes that they would help him, then I started to pay closer attention to how many times do we have rage, how long they last, what are the warning signs. And so
I lose my appetite. You need to write that down. If the person you're caring for loses their appetite, these are things that she writes down. All this stuff is a flag. It tells you what's coming up next. Once you get it right, once you get it listed and you find out what order they're going in, then you can actually know what's getting ready to happen.
Like weight loss, yeah, that would be a good one actually. That people think that he's just not eating enough. Well, yeah, he doesn't have appetite. So if he or she, I don't know who we're talking about, but if a person you're caring for, they don't have an appetite, and that's a periodical thing, then you can expect that their body weight is going to change periodically. And so keeping
notes
track
of all this,
of those changes, will help you to get yourself prepared for what is to come, and also to pay extra attention for the nervous system regulation throughout those times that that are historically difficult.
I just wanted to add some crickets, just for fun.
Okay, thanks. That's wonderful. I like it.
I know.
So the neuroinflammation, which is, which happens with TBIs, but it's also one of
neuroinflammation is inflammation of the nerves.
Yeah, and the brain is made of nerve cells.
All nerves,
so
and then
nerves
in the stomach.
brain
So
is
the gut. Do you remember when I was nauseated for like 3 years?
Yeah.
So that comes into play. Like, did I complain about it all the time, or did I talk about it all the time? Or?
The nausea?
Mm-hmm.
What it was all over your face every morning.
Yeah.
You would wake up with it every morning. You would say that you're nauseated. You had no appetite, and then, or you had to eat something really quick, or you would get nauseated. And
so weird how your brain works. But when you have someone that's caring for you, that's taking notes and keeping track of stuff, it's what made a difference, folks. I've been this way. I'm 51 years old. I didn't just get this way overnight. I've not been in solitude by myself all this time. I just didn't have the right person caring for me. And it matters. You're that person for somebody. Your husband or your wife, they're not gone forever. They're not gone. They're different. They are gone. But you can love them. Like, Fru didn't know me before. So all she's known is this. But she's getting to see things about me that other folks felt like that was there, and then they lost it. I'm not much better now, and it comes from being cared for properly. Keep going, Fru. Don't let me stop.
So the neuroinflammation that happens in the brain after a TBI, or that is very present or commonly seen or just there all the time in a
After a
CT
brain
in a
injury.
CTE brain.
Yeah.
That actually spills into the whole system. And so the quicker you learn what the things are that are causing inflammation in the body, the easier it's going to be for you to start recognizing the patterns that you are dealing with.
So think of it this way. Every symptom you have is all comes back to inflammation. So your brain is inflamed.
Including the joint pain, including
Everything.
the gut issues, the mood crashes,
the
poor
memory,
sleep,
the ability
the
to communicate.
fatigue, the immune function, the hormonal cycles, and all that kind of stuff.
It's all there.
So, and until the person may look fine, that's the other thing that not a seasoned caregiver would think, that, oh, he looks fine. We heard that so many times. You talk
yeah.
you talk
People
to
forget
CT
you're sick, too.
caregivers, and thank you, Ruthie. We love you. It's an awesome thing, when you become a CT caregiver and you actually there's no, you start to meet the first people who are also CT caregivers. And these are kind of inside jokes.
Oh, don't be making jokes.
Because people who are not seasoned traumatic brain injury or trauma informed caregivers, they're gonna go and they're like, oh, he looks fine. It looks like nothing's wrong with him or her. Whoever.
Having a
you're
good
talking
day,
about.
aren't you?
Well, you may be talking about good 5 minutes. That's
Yeah.
what they don't understand. And so it's not funny when you're in it, but it is kind of funny to tell as a story now.
I'm pretty, I don't fake it a lot, do I, Fru?
No, you don't fake it at all.
I don't fake it at all.
No.
So what I did do was, I didn't stop going in public. I didn't be, I'm at church, better be good. I've let her have my thoughts at a very loud projection in the parking lot of every church we've been
In
at.
front of the whole entire congregation, huh?
So,
And
yeah!
Sunday morning,
Praise the Lord!
about 5 to 10 minutes right before service, when the majority of the people are in the
My point
lobby
was
and the
always,
parking lot.
if I could manage to not do that, then I'm not disabled.
Oh, I understand.
That's what my point is, and that, excusez-moi.
Yes.
I believe that the more that somebody there's no excuse for being ugly to people. None. There's a reason, but there's not excused. All right. So when someone does something wrong, they need to be corrected or dealt with. And so when I did things that were wrong, how are you going to correct me or deal with me? The way Fru did it worked. Let's just put it that way. She dealt with it and recovered from whatever.
How are you gonna correct somebody who's got a broken leg
Right,
for not
that-
riding?
that's the point.
Not walking correctly. That's the
You help
thing.
them. You help them
You
along.
can correct
You help 'em
something
along.
that's
Give them a crutch.
that's beyond their control. That's how do you correct that? There's not this.
And it's hard. One of the biggest things I believe for family members, and we're talking, there's a lot of folks out here now that are getting older and they get dementia, and it's more and more prominent in families everywhere. And you're caring for those loved ones who are going through this, and they can be very, very, very offensive. You can get your feelings hurt. You can ruin relationships.
And that's
Brain
the
injuries
part
ruin relationships.
That's the part that people don't talk about, by the way, when it comes to neurodegenerative diseases. Even the fact that, how aggression plays out, for example, when somebody's got a neurodegenerative disease, is talked about so little that I'm still, not entirely clear if that always happens, if somebody's got Alzheimer's,
yeah.
or,
People are so ashamed of it. It's what it is.
It's
They're
really
very
difficult
quiet.
to figure out. So, as a caregiver or as a family member, I just like for you to know that it is normal to feel like it is impacting the whole entire family, because it is.
It is.
And the communication between family members, the parenting, intimacy, finances, the whole structure of scheduling and doing things in and outside of the house are all becoming affected by it. Everything.
Everyone has to work around me. Okay, everyone has to work around me. So in a TBI setting, if you have a household with someone like me who I'm functionable, I can do things, but I have to be coached. I'm getting better and better. Now I'm doing many things on my own now. But 2 years ago when we first moved out here, if I didn't have a coach, I'd just do about 50 things at once, right? I'd jump in. If I didn't have someone coaching me to
do something.
Do something, I'd have 50 things going. I wouldn't finish any of them. And so that's the setting. If you can just think about wherever your loved one is at right now, but neurological disease or wherever, however many good days or good minutes or lucid moments they have, if you can start tracking this, I'm telling you, this is the key, tracking it, getting to know the system, because there will be a system to that individual. And once you get to know them, the less you're offended by, right? What helped you the most not be offended by the crap I went through?
Oh, when I figured out that that's like normal.
Now it still affected you.
Like,
You
it's
still
normal.
You still had to. But what did
But
you?
I have
What
a
did you do?
different
Turn
level
your,
of.
did you
I had a
turn your
different
ears
level
off?
of. No, so when it comes to things that we are having a difficult time to handle, it's all about a matter of it's called mental rehearsing. Mental rehearsing is the process in which you play out in your mind what you're gonna do, next time when this or that thing happens. And so that process is affected by understanding and believing, not just understanding and hearing, but also believing that these things that you're experiencing are also outside of the control of the other person. So that changes everything. But I do also want to say that, because a lot of caregivers are listening this, that I want you to know that when you develop hypervigilance, grief, or burnout, that is normal. That is part of the process. And you're not supposed to be mean on yourself or hard on yourself just because you didn't know about these things, just because you didn't understood and you were like maybe inappropriate or whatever in your behavior of trying to help. You know what I'm saying? You just get over what has been in the past, and pay attention to regulating your nervous system, pay attention to taking care of yourself so that you can take care of the person that you love better. And that also comes from learning about these things and paying attention to the little signs.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that people could practice, and this is something that I've been having to do all my life, as far back as I can remember, but take a real stressful moment, like with, let's give an example of you get in a fuss or you get in a disagreement or something happens where you and your spouse or loved one or caregiver are yelling at each other, going back and forth. You've said something offensive and hurt, and you're ashamed of it, TBI person. And now you can't get past it. It's looping in your head, and you're reliving it. One of the things that I was capable of doing at young age, could be my memory issue, but is to, if you could separate, get out of the room, reset, and start over, and that didn't happen. Remove it before it gets, I'm talking to the caregiver too, before it gets a seed in you of bitterness and anger and resentment. Just realize what it is and then get over it, start over, brand new page, and as soon as possible, go back in
in order to do that, you're gonna have to understand that this is not your weakness. This is a situation that is weak, but it's out of everybody's control.
Yes, it's not. All we can do is handle it better. It's not stopping it.
Like handling better means that you accept that you're living inside of that injury. So like, I hate to say that, but if it's kind of like, they say that when you're in jail, when you're in jail and you're thinking too much about being
Going outside, yeah, you drive
you're
yourself
kind
crazy.
of okay. So this is the same thing in this situation. The only way to truly learn to navigate what it means to be living with this disease in the household is the prerequisite for that
Just
is
like if you were
your
in jail.
acceptance
Yep.
that you're living in an injury that's beyond of your control. You're not blaming, you're not trying to blame the other person for what you guys are going through, but you understand that what you're going through is just what was dealt to you, and
of a traumatic brain
you
injury.
you are, you know, you want to be in it as much as your partner does, and so you just do whatever, you know, the best is for both of you. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise you're thinking about, you know, like how to abandon that person. Like that's the you two options really. You're either thinking about abandoning that person or you're accepting that you're carrying an injury that's not yours. That's the two options.
There you go. Very, very plain and simple. And I like how you put that, Fru. It is true.
So that's why also, you know, when it comes to things that, for example, I hated routines when I met David. I mean, I couldn't stand routines. When he came up with this routine stuff, you know, I was going to climb on the wall or the ceiling. And I'm just kind of like, now I'm a routine person. I got to the point where I actually started to enjoy
It's comfortable
having
in
the
routine.
routines, because it makes his life better. It makes my life better. Actually, routines really make everybody's lives
Yeah, it
better.
does. You can go in cruise control.
But if you have ADD, ADHD, you may be having a problem with keep doing
you
the
got to
same
have,
thing
what
over
is
and
that?
over.
Points. You go 1 as a topic, and then A and B and C is the subtopic. ADHD has subtopics. You just got
Subtopics?
you just keep them in line and add it to it, but stay on top.
Anyways, practice.
Practice loving each other. That's the point of what I was trying to get at.
Practice
What I was
living
trying
in
to
a
say
routine.
is when something bad happens, practice getting out of that moment. Like you can erase it. You can just like bad things that come out of people's mouth. When you have a brain injury, there's no filter over your mouth. A lot of times you just say the things that, like, you're not thinking it. It just comes in your brain and out your mouth. And it can hurt a lot of folks. But when those things happen, make a joke out of it. Do something to lighten it up, and then just switch. This helped me a lot. Still helps me a lot today. Is the ability for me to not know something happened. So I forget things, literally. And so things are better. Like, I don't know, have you ever seen that movie Amnesiac? Where that girl does things to that guy and knows he's going to forget it in the next 30 seconds. So she says whatever she wants, and then he's trying to find a pen and write it down. And she's just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then after 30 seconds or so, he forgets what she said. And, oh, hi. And it was so vicious, scary. It's a good movie. But that point being made, it's okay to like not be connected to those episodes. If your loved one has these violent episodes, there's ways to navigate them, right, Fru? Did you navigate them, or did you just learn to ride through them and now they're done? How did that happen? Did you navigate through violent episodes?
No, you can't really navigate those through.
You're just riding.
I don't believe so.
I
mean, you know, I heard it from you that it is the other person who ignites it. And I understand that there are behaviors that are gonna make it worse. But as far as like navigating, to me, navigating means controlling it, and nobody's controlling it. So
yeah,
that's
it's completely out of control. But there are points like, you know, this is better to do during this time, and this is better to not do during.
But that's the learning part of it.
Yeah.
Like that's how you learn going through.
So
and
that's
getting
something
better
you should know
at
about.
it.
If you're new at this, and let's say you've been living together 10 years, but you're just now realizing somebody's got a traumatic brain injury. You just realize, or you've been together all this time and someone just got injured, or like you're just figuring this out and you're wanting to do something different. You're wanting to help. These things that we're discussing right now are going to help you take notes. You're going to learn. I don't want you to be discouraged, because 7 years of Fru and I being together, every year it got better and better. And there's some heavy years we were in. It hurts me to hear her testimony sometimes, because like I said, I forget things and I'm not connected to stuff. And when I hear the stuff that I've done and put her through, it just crumbles. My heart just and this is why I'm discussing this. I'm capable of disconnecting from it because of my memory. But if I was to settle on that and think about it, that's where the self-harm would come in.
Well, and that's why it's important to understand that not remembering is a
gift.
It's a survival mechanism of the nervous system.
Yes.
But when you're the caregiver, you may not have that advantage.
Yeah, you might need to knock your head on the wall.
That's why the hypervigilance and then all of those, anxiety attacks and chest pains and all that kind of stuff, that you may experience as a caregiver are there, because you don't have the luxury, of not remembering it. But it's not, I'm saying this in this way because I understand it's a good thing that helps the person who forgets to survive. At the same time, as a caregiver, you have to find ways of rewriting that memory in your system. Like
the narrative has to be
like your narrative
yes.
can go, like it can be very different when it happens for the first time to when it happened, to
well, these things can justify you abandoning them, so it's very important for you to deal with it properly.
But you don't think you're gonna forget it, or don't try
right.
to forget it. That's not your goal as a caregiver. But remembering them may be your anchor for knowing that you could have done something better, and then that's how you become better.
Take notes
for the next time.
Absolutely.
So I'd really like to talk about hope here a little bit, because I know this is a heavy subject, and I know that the reason why people responded to that post was mainly because we were talking about something that most people don't talk about. But here's another thing that I feel like we need to talk a little bit more about, and which is that when I met you 7 years ago, you would have these episodes monthly, probably multiple times, and they would last for days, sometimes for weeks.
Like I wouldn't get a break? I stayed angry?
Like it felt like I wouldn't get a break.
Well, yes, that's what I meant.
And so what happened by now is that here we are. It's November the 22nd. This is historically the worst month that ever has been in David's life. And so this would be the time of the year when David would have a rage fit no matter what. And here we are. It's almost the end of the month. And usually, actually, like for example, if something like going on in his health, then this would be throughout the whole month. There were Novembers where he would be like...
Goes into December.
Oh, my goodness. And it went into December, and then it got worse in December because of all the holiday,
Now,
junk.
look, I want y'all to know that we videoed all through this. So you guys never seeing it was because I was advised to not show those things on live videos.
Yeah, we have a lot of recordings.
But like it shows
it's hard for us to watch too.
It's really difficult for us to go back and watch them. We have a lot of audio recording. We've got cameras in every room that record audio and videos for everything that happens. And we did a lot of that in the past. Fru and I have audio recordings that are 24, 48 hours long because we forget to turn them off. But we captured all of it, and it's amazing to see how my mood would switch. You couldn't tell. People are like, that's what I mean about like,
don't feel bad if you can't tell.
Like people couldn't tell that I was
Sometimes
upset.
There are no warning signs. It would happen from one moment to another out of the blue.
Yeah, like out of nowhere. I could just be. I remember one time I was in the grocery store back in Indiana. This is a funny one. And we were at a health food store, and you know how the health food store has the nuts
section.
And all the stuff where all the nuts and chocolate covered cashews and all that stuff's laid out. Well, I had made my way over to the chocolate-covered cashews or almonds or whatever had
So
chocolate.
sugar
you
is
know.
one of the things that increases inflammation. I'm gonna,
And-
insert that.
And
in.
Fru was nonstop on me. She still is. So that never quit. I just got better at handling it.
Yeah,
but
because
she
if I
came,
have to live inside of the injury, I better get it better.
she came into me. She came up to me that day and she said, "Are you eating chocolate?" And I had
Oh, he had chocolate all
all
over
over my
his
face,
mouth.
and I
Like,
went,
he was covered with chocolate.
what did I say?
You said
I said,
no.
No.
And he looked like offended too.
And she said, this is what's causing those, the rage outbursts and all that stuff. And right at that time, my head went, pop, popped right off. And I screamed and told him how, why don't you put
I called him out on lying. That's what
that's
made
what
the
was called me a
lid
liar.
pop.
And I was being funny. I was going, no, you busted me. But she called me a liar. And so when she called me a liar, my head popped. And when I popped, I screamed out about, why don't you guys, because what she's saying is the self-harm that comes at me is triggered by the sugar. So what I yelled at the store, screamed it loud and proud right there at the cash register, right? So everyone's standing
This
there all
happened
quiet.
right at the cash
And I just said, why don't you throw a stinking, what was it, shotgun? Why don't you put a shotgun in a point of
On
purchase?
a corner end.
Corner.
Let me go and use it on
Yeah,
myself.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say it.
And so this
TikTok
was like
will
just
TikTok us
before,
off.
this was in the self-checkout section.
So just like
where
that.
there
1 minute
were,
I was eating chocolate, and the next minute I was spitting fire.
There were like 5 people like looking at us while he's doing this. And so I just turned around. And this is, by the way, these are the things that you can learn by mental rehearsing. I turned around, started to like breathe really deeply. And I turned around and I reached into my pocket where I had my car key. And then I pulled the car key out and then I held it in the air and I said, honey, would you like to go to the car and wait me for it?
And you know what I did? I grabbed it. I said, I sure would. And I went out to the car. As soon as I got out there, I pulled. This is what helped me. So this could help you if you're going through this. But self-harm would bombard me. I mean, I just want to quit because it's a nightmare. I just want to quit. So what I would do to help stop that from happening to me was I had to do something funny. I had to make a joke of myself real quick. So I pulled up, back then a Snapchat had all these filters to make your face different things. And so I put on my face, looked like my ex-wife, Kim. And I got her voice. And I said, now that's why we can't take you anywhere. and started talking like my ex-wife and making fun of myself. I made it through it. I'm telling you, man. I want to
really, really creative ways of turning all sorts of negative stuff into positive, which makes me really.
Well,
love
sometimes
him
you just
a
need to
lot.
sit down with your ex-wife and let her chew you out.
But thank you very much, you guys, for joining us. Progress is possible. It's probably the most important takeaway that I would like for you to know. Progress is possible, and it's more important than perfection.
It's baby steps, folks. Baby steps. Remember that movie, What About Bob?
I don't know that movie, so I don't.
Bill
think I could
Murray plays
remember.
in it. He's got psychiatrist that helps him, and he wrote a book called Baby Steps, and it's funny. Go watch it.
Well, we have a group on Facebook called Wellness Tuners, and we do have a link in this description here. So if you guys join this, if you feel like this actually talked to you, it resonated with you, what we're talking about, just know that you are not alone. This is probably the caregiving journey is the most difficult when you feel like nobody understands you.
And nobody will understand you, but we do. So you have a little place.
But as soon as
to
you
go.
make connections with people who do
helps.
understand you, it is really going to help
big
you
time.
to understand your loved one better.
Yep.
And I believe that's why this post was so successful. And thank you so very much, you guys, for commenting and loving it and sharing it with other people and doing all that wonderful stuff.
We still got a whole other page.
We would love for you guys to come to Wellness Tuners and bring, your cases, your stories, and share them over there. We want to hear about you. We want to hear
during these
about
lives.
We want to hear about what works for you.
Comment in the live. You may not be watching it right now, but you watch it next week or later on in the day. Comment. Let us know that you enjoyed the show, and come back. We're going to keep this topic. We're going to continue going on.
Drop the word household in the comments
Household.
if you would like us to get in touch with you instead of you reaching out to us. Okay. And
my wife's so cool like that. That's so like sneaky little things like that. Just
and I'd like to
confuse the
say
crud out of
thanks
me.
again to the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation.
Karen and Doug, thank you so much. It's about time that I'm gonna make another letter. We got to finish this studio and raise some more money. So I'm getting ready to send.
Thank
some
you
more
for
money.
the continued
They have sponsored us
support.
and bought all this.
Please check them out.
Are you going to talk over me? the
Stop
entire-
CTE.org.
Look at your face. Anyway,
Look
Patrick
at my hair.
Risha CTE Awareness Foundation has been incredible support this year. We're excited. We didn't even, I personally didn't seek anyone else. You know, I'm not trying to get a ton of money to do a bunch of wild, crazy things. We reached out, requested help, and we got sponsored just like that from the very first person we asked. It's all about asking the right folks.
Just remember, you're not crazy and you're not weak.
And people here at Dr. PhilGood, we love you.
You're
We do
in
wanna hear
this
your
storm
story.
with them, and we are in the same storm. So
Yeah.
you're basically in that storm with us
Oh,
too.
folks, we've got so many cool things coming up. We have a community that we're building that is it's underway. We've got a huge vision that's just coming together so nicely. There's hope. We've got a future ahead of us that's going to be exciting to help many professional athletes and veterans
It's going
that are
to
just
help
in a
people to get
disaster
clarity
right now.
about what this disease is, what it does to people, to families. And I want you guys to remember that clarity is how the healing starts in the household. And rhythm is what supports it. And at the end, you get the hope, which is irreplaceable and priceless.
And you can't have any of it without tracking. If you don't like tracking and keeping notes and documenting stuff, you're going to miss out, because you have to do that to get to know the person you're caring for. Fru, how important is it that you took notes and got to know my rhythm?
Very important. That's why we talked about the calendar a few
Yes.
episodes ago.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time on
Hey.
Dr. Feel Good. And let's feel good.
Oh, are you trying to do a tag? Okay, we got to come up
I'm
with a tag for
not trying
Dr.
to
Phil
do a
Good.
tag. I
Oh,
just
that's it?
need a tag.
Let's feel good.
Let's feel good.
Let's feel good.
Dr. Feel Good.
Dr. Feel Good here. Hey, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see
See you
back
next
here
week.